Addicted to the Outdoors begins now.
Our last trip we were in Illinois, and I opted to stay and stick it out a few extra days while Gina flew home to see the kids and get a little refreshed. So I rented a car in Illinois and drove over to Nebraska, and Gina caught a plane in Tampa and she was on her way to meet me.
I don't know what I did. Big truck, big truck. We are on our way to Nebraska. And I'm hauling butt because my kids had me running late. Oh my God, this is gonna suck. Getting all these bags out by myself. Oh my God, I gotta do this all myself. Does it say where to go? My husband and I have a hunting show.
Electronic devices must be turned off and stowed.
Tired. Hello, girls.
We just got our stuff.
Oh, I'm tired.
It's going to be a late night. We have a 3-hour drive from the airport, and we're not getting in till 1 in the morning, and I love my sleep.
We're getting up at 4. So I'm sleeping in the morning because Johnny's a
Beats
killer.
digging a ditch.
I'll tell you one thing about Scott, it doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is, he will whip up a big breakfast.
Underneath there, there's another whole box. We got some grub here. Grab a plate.
Did you cook?
Hey, no. I've never hurt you.
Thank you.
You know.
Well, this is our second year hunting with old Scott, and I'll tell you, we could not wait to get back because last year we had a lot of close calls with some big bucks.
Oh, I got some redeeming to do here. We got some. We need to get one down.
Yeah, we got.
We should have got one last year. I mean, I was on top of it, but I couldn't. I was getting too close to him, stalking him with a bow. I didn't know how to get him up without freaking him out.
There's been a lot of bucks running around.
Old Scotty boy's got some acreage.
With what I got now, I've got over 300,000.
300,000 acres? Man, where do you even start?
Usually first thing in the morning, we'll try and get up high somewhere in the east and let the sun come up. Just sit there with spotting scopes and binoculars and glass, and you can see them coming up out of the hills and going up into the hill ranges.
Well, the game plan was pretty simple. Get out there at daybreak, glass, and look for the deer, and try and watch where they're going.
Can she wash a load today, this morning?
Gina? Yeah, hey, you bring the stuff in, I'll wash it for you.
Oh, gee.
Hey, I can get it done. You know me.
I think I'll pass on that deal. I do want to wear my clothes again.
Well, it's morning 1 in Nebraska, and I am ready to go kill something because I've had a rough start this year, and we are running on pretty much no sleep. But our guide Kevin is pretty fresh, so hopefully he doesn't run us ragged up and down the hills.
Well, we'll see some country and take our time doing it.
Good deal. Well, let's see if we can go get one on the ground. Of course, you know where Gina is, sleeping. So I'm gonna see if I can get a big one down before she wakes up.
Yes, I did the big no-no. I slept in the first morning. I guess you can say I just can't hang with Jon.
We got a little bit of a late start. Jon needed to sight in his gun this morning. We got that done. We're going to go up here and see if we can spot some big boys. Been running this range of hills up here.
Man, you can see forever out there. Kevin had done a little pre-scouting before we got there and wanted us to check out this one spot first. And sure enough, we look up and there's a couple of nice bucks.
That's the big one. Right, the bottom, right. You think you like him?
I think he's a shooter. What do you think?
I think so. He's got some body mass. A lot of mass on his horns. We got some more looking we can do yet too. If we just kind of skirt back out of here.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought about pulling that trigger, but I decided to pass because I know what kind of deer run around this place.
Limb Saver presents Addicted to the Outdoors with Jon and Gina Brunson.
Now let's bring you up to speed.
Our last trip we were in Illinois, and I opted to stay and stick it out a few extra days, and Gina caught a plane in Tampa and she was on her way to meet me.
Well, it's day one in Nebraska, and went out this morning, got on a couple of nice bucks, but decided to pass because I have seen what's here. So I know the big boys are out there. Oh man.
I am highly allergic to poison ivy or poison oak or poison anything. And when I get it, it's bad. And apparently I picked up a little in Illinois right before I headed to Nebraska.
As this show progresses forward, if I turn to like the Elephant Man, don't be surprised.
When that happens, there's only one thing that I can do, and that's head straight to the hospital.
So I can get a shot, because that's what it takes to slow this stuff down on me, and get back in the woods and hopefully kill something and not go blind.
He hates the doctors and he hates going to the hospital. Because you wait, and then you get to the point where you're like way past the
Point of no return.
Exactly.
Did I mention how much I hate going to the hospital?
They wanted to keep him overnight, but leave it to Jon to sign himself out.
I'm like, man, I'm not staying here. I gotta go hunt. But man, they gave me a shot in both arms and an IV, and then a shot in the IV, and I don't know, they gave me all kinds of good stuff, I guess. So hopefully this stuff will start drying out and going away, and I won't look like a freak later.
You don't look like a freak, babe, just a little monster.
Well, the hospital pretty much shot our afternoon hunt, but that's okay because it's hard to hunt with your eyes swole shut and you can't see. When we got back to camp, there was one bright spot. There were a couple of bucks on the ground.
We didn't sleep last night, but that's all right. I mean, I'm used to it.
You'll be cutting it up tonight, though.
Yeah, I did all right today. They pumped me full of all kinds of crap at the hospital, so I was like,
You're like, steroids.
yeah, no, I'll take it with a Bowie knife. Give me my Rambo knife.
I might have slept in the first morning, but the second morning, it's my turn.
Well, day two, I'm gonna head out, see if we can put Gina on a big old muley. And after the start we had yesterday morning, I think we'll probably do it. If it wasn't for the trip to the hospital, we'd been able to hunt more than 2 hours yesterday. So hopefully today we can get one down.
Gina and I was glassing this one spot looking at these deer, and Kevin had slipped off in a different direction to check this other spot. When he came back, he filled us in that there was a nice buck bedded over there, so we headed that way.
You find him?
Yeah, he's just over the hill here on the other side of this hill range, about where we saw him disappear. He's kind of laying kind of down in a little bit of a pocket, but he's...
We just wait for him.
Is he a good buck?
Yeah, he's a 5x3.
Well, wouldn't you know it, just our luck. As we were slipping over to that deer, we bumped some does and they headed his direction. And even though he didn't really get spooky, he did join them and headed off, and next thing you know, he was way down in that field.
Kevin just went to go look at the mule deer to see exactly where we need to set up for us in the camera. He said he's like a 5x3 and he's a real mature buck. He's got a nice brown rack. So I'm so excited because this is gonna be my first mule deer. So cross your fingers. Get a buck, yay.
Well, 2 hours later, we were back on that same deer, and me and Gina had circled around to the right of the deer, and Kevin had circled around to the left. We were trying to get a set of eyeballs on that deer, and all of a sudden...
There he goes.
He looked up, and Kevin was standing right there, and, well, the gig was up.
Were you doing the jig over there or something? We were right here, and they freaking ran 15 yards. They run right by us, and they run right out in the middle of that field.
Spot and stalk in open country, it's gonna happen.
I mean, we were right here.
Here's where we're at so far.
Day one in Nebraska. Went out this morning, got on a couple of nice bucks, decided to pass because I have seen what's here.
If it wasn't for the trip to the hospital, we'd have been able to hunt more than 2 hours yesterday. So hopefully today we can get one down.
We got busted.
Back up and go through the brown grass. They run right by us, and they run right out in the middle of that field.
Our trend continues. Our third morning, we were glassing and we're seeing deer, but they are way off in the distance.
He's headed right towards the doe.
You see him, Randy? Yeah,
He is on him.
Yeah, he's not bad, but he's not a shooter. There's a lot more activity this morning than yesterday, seems like.
Now, will this buck ever get bigger, or is he?
Oh, he may. He doesn't look like an old deer. I mean, he'll probably get bigger.
He's a fork, and then on one of the forks, it looks like it has a little claw.
You know, we just go sit, go right, right. Just find out where you think the best spot is, and then we just go straight there and get set up. I think that's going to be the way we need to do it. Way behind me on the other mountain range, we spotted quite a few deer, and we saw at least 2 shooters. And one of those shooters we've watched bed down, and we've got him marked pretty good. So we're going to head across there and see if we can slip up on him, and hopefully we can get one down today. We stalked this one deer for at least half the day, and when we finally got to the spot where we thought he was laying, well, the bowl was empty. I don't believe we ain't got a deer down.
We gotta go find another buck.
We get one down today. That would be nice. Get the heat off.
Take the pressure off.
It was getting a little frustrating. We'd get on a deer and he'd bust us, or he'd be bedded in a terrible spot, or the wind would be wrong. It just was not going our way.
Well, our third evening was pretty quiet. We didn't see much. So we headed back to camp and decided to regroup with Scott. He decided to split us the next day and send Gina with Kevin and me with Jeremy, because Jeremy had been on a hot streak.
It's always cool traveling and meeting new people in camp, and you know you're going to always hit it off with them because all hunters have that bond.
We're going to swing down around here so deer can't see us over here. When the sun comes up, we're going to glow with our orange on, so we'll swing down around here get up that cut and then start heading up.
Okay.
That way they won't see us. They won't even know we're coming.
Well, it was day 4, which was our last day, and it was time to make something happen. So I headed out with Jeremy, and right at light we started glassing, and it didn't take us long to find a good buck.
He's got some does with him, but hopefully we can slip around and get up above him.
So me and my guide Kevin are gonna go and try to do our own thing, stocking up on our own buck. So Kevin's not a professional cameraman, but he's gonna do his best. And as long as we get the buck down, that's all that matters, right? Right.
Well, we spotted this buck, and we thought he was up in the top of this ravine, so we decided to slip down around the bottom to see if we could shoot up.
We're about 150 yards out. We're gonna be real close, real slow. The wind's kind of swirling up top. I want to keep an eye on that. We're gonna try to get you above him so you're looking down on him.
And I get right down on this lip, and I'm looking up the ravine. All of a sudden, I see horns stand up, and these deer are 10, 15 yards right underneath us. They were basically bedded under the lip that we were sitting on. Well, when this buck got up, he actually didn't spook from us. He was looking at this little buck right above him, and he headed off to chase him off, and man, they just went to the next county.
We'll go back around where we came, get back up. It gets pretty rolling on this side a little bit. Once you get farther towards the fence, it gets rougher. If we get up where it's rolling, we'll probably be able to see him bumping that doe.
It's always fun hunting the rut, but the rut can bring him to you, and the rut can take him a different direction.
Okay. Let me give you an update. Our update is we got busted, and I got them set up on them, but then I was trying to get myself set up, and they must have just seen my movement. And so they stood up. I didn't even know they stood up, and they were gone. So wait it out, and hopefully we'll get a shot at one.
We were just getting our butts whooped, and I was thinking, man, our luck has got to change. It was down to our last evening, so Jeremy decided to put me on this big field he'd been seeing a couple of good bucks on, and he brushed us in using some bales of hay. We got settled in nice and early, and Jeremy said he'd been seeing them deer around 2:30.
About 4 o'clock came around, he hadn't shown yet. 4:15, 4:30, we still haven't seen a deer come off this hill.
So far, we've had a little bit of action, not a whole lot. We've seen a couple does and a buck. We're not really sure how big he was. Hopefully something will come down behind us to feed.
Jeremy said he'd been seeing them deer around 2:30, but about 4:30 rolled around, and we were thinking, man, this can't be good. We spotted him, we moved on him and set up, and finally, with just a little bit of light left, he was heading down the mountain. He was coming down the mountain, and the camera was on him, and I couldn't see him. I could see him, and the camera couldn't see him. We just didn't know if we were going to pull it together.
You see the one to the left? I don't see him. Are you on him?
We finally pulled it together, and I squeezed the trigger. Last day, last couple of minutes of light, you gotta love pulling it off.
No, he's down. He's down.
Freaking sweet, sweet, sweet. Yes.
You're a stud.
Yes. Oh man, we worked for this one. Golly. Let's go check him out, guys. Sweet. I'm pumped. You're the man, dude. You're the man.
When Gina got the news, she was fired up.
Johnny saved the day.
Easy now. I don't know, but he's a nice buck. He's heavy. He's nice first muley. He's heavy. He's got some good mass.
For real, that's your first muley?
Yeah. I've only mule deer hunted with you guys. I've never mule deer hunted. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All whitetails, man.
That's awesome.
My first mule deer hunt was with y'all last year with Bo.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Jeremy broke me in. Smoked him. We put the big team effort on him.
Yeah.
Well, this trip was like a lot of our trips, where we had to get out there and hunt our butts off. You know, things didn't always go our way. And that's just how it happens. We got busted. You know, the conditions weren't perfect. And we'd get on a big deer and he'd chase off another buck. I got poison ivy midstream. You know, it's always something. But that's what keeps it interesting, and that's what really creates another story for you. You know, we hunt with Scott every year, and those guys are a blast. He's always got a fun camp. And we got to pull it off. You know, it was a tough hunt, but we got to put one down the last minute, and that's always rewarding. But, you know, for me, more importantly, is I get to get out there and do this with my wife. You know, Gina and I get to do this for a living. It's awesome. You know, getting out there and spending time together and really creating another memory, another story for the kids. You know, for us, that's what it's all about. And we just love what we do, and we can't wait to get back and see Scotty next year.
What do you want to say?
Gina, she's all acting like she's loving on me, but she's using me to block the wind. I know better.
That's not true. I love you, Ben.
David.